it's Mizuki Arts, and here I have another video for you guys. It's a sketchbook tour. I finished this one back in early December, and I thought it was time to give it a good look through. If I sound sick at any point in this video, that's because I absolutely am sick. But anyways, I have a Skittles packet glued in my sketchbook for some reason, along with some random doodles, and there's the first painting. And here are some Draw This in Your Style prizes for the Draw This in Your Style I held on Instagram a little while back. There's Kokomi and someone's OC, and here's a little personal painting. And here's a piece I really wasn't that happy with, but I really wanted to experiment in it. And look at how dirty the pages are. But anyways, there was some YouTube art, and here's more personal paintings. And here's a Madoka fan art. I absolutely love Madoka Magica, and I feel like it did really well on the fan art. I'm really proud of it. There's a lot of personal art in this sketchbook, so you get to see a lot of the kind of paintings that I just kind of sit down and do, which is really fun. But it does mean that obviously some of these paintings I'm not going to be very happy with, like some of the weirder concepts, and there's stuff I did on like live streams, and there's just things in there that I can't explain as a result. This piece was a Ko-fi illustration. I believe it was for August. If I'm wrong, I'll put it in editing. And here's the kind of style experimentation and some art blocky pieces. Here's a little thank you doodle for the lovely Spooktress Heart art. And here's a piece that I'm still really happy with. Just ignore the little stickies. Those are for something different that you guys might hear about eventually, but just enjoy the eye candy for now. Here's another piece that I really love. I don't know why I love it, but I do. For some reason, I really liked drawing cakes throughout the sketchbook, so you see a lot of those, but there's also just a lot of pieces that I'm very happy with. There's quite a bit of YouTube art considering it's one sketchbook. I think just because the rate at which I was drawing slowed down a lot. But anyways, here's a Ghost Girl OC. She's really cute, and I still really love her. And here's another Draw This in Your Style. I think I held a few of them on my Instagram so far. Here's another piece that I'm really proud of. Even though I think I could do better now, I still really love it. And here's this kind of nursery rhyme inspired piece that's a little over the top. And here's another original character and another piece with a sticky. Just ignore that. I really like this one, even though there's so many anatomy mistakes. And here, I don't know what that is, but it's there. There's kind of a cute painting next to it. This one was kind of a practice, just branching out and using green. And this one I just got to paint lots of fun and cute stuff, like plushies and bows, and I had a good time with it. And this one is weirdly edgy. I'm not sure what's going on, but you know, it exists now. Here's some YouTube art for my last video, actually. It's hard to believe how long ago I had started the work for it, but here I entered kind of an art blocky stretch of time where a lot of my work was very uninspired looking, and there's a redraw from a piece from 2020. I'm really proud of the redraw though, so it kind of kicked me out of my slump. Here is September's exclusive illustration for my Ko-fi supporters to view, and here is a piece that took me, I think, about a week, just because I was so down in the dumps because of some life stuff, and of course that sent me into another kind of art blocky stage, which really sucked. But I tried to draw some pastel girl stuff, like from the little dress-up game. It really wasn't working for me. I just didn't enjoy the process of drawing it because it didn't turn out right. But here is a kind of spooky, dark-looking piece. It's mixed media. I got to glue little pieces of paper on, and it was really fun to make. Here's a Draw This in Your Style prize. And here I'm covering up my handwriting, but I really don't need to. you know what? Here's another piece I had a very hard time on. I think the physics of the hair and the face just doesn't look good, so it kind of ruined the whole thing for me. And here's a spooky little Frankenstein girl. I absolutely love her, even though the piece itself is not up to, I think, my standards. Here's a thank you doodle for Kofi, and another personal piece. This one was actually very, very special to me, as I was going through a very, very difficult time whilst drawing this, and as a result I had a hard time finishing things. Here was a piece I was going to include in my last video because I was going to go over multiple fairy tales, but I just didn't end up doing it. Here's another Kofi piece, and beyond that I have a personal piece. At this point it was kind of Halloween time and I was doing doodles a lot. Here's a painting I was kind of unhappy with, but at the same time, I love the colors. Here's one I actually ended up very proud of, and it kind of reminds me how little kids kind of impulsively destroy their toys. Here's a redraw from a 2020 piece. I did that a couple times in this sketchbook. Another piece I was never really happy with, and then here's one that I absolutely adore, even though it's weird and kind of violent, and I hope it's not too violent for YouTube. Sorry guys. Here's another Kofi illustration. This time it was for November, and here we are heading into early December, and I knew I had to do an angel because my mom kept asking me to draw an angel, and I just couldn't say no. And then here is another piece that I was not happy with. I feel like I'm saying that every other piece sometimes, but that's pretty much the end, except for some scrappy little doodles and concept art for something I'm working on. Very unfinished, if you can't tell, and more kind of nonsensical doodles, and that's it. I hope you all enjoyed this kind of rushed, awkward video, and thank you so much for joining me, and I'll hopefully have more videos out faster because I recently got some equipment upgrades that I'll be using on my next video. But in the meantime, I want to say a big old thank you to my lovely Ko-fi supporters. So thank you to Michelle Kelly and Diggly Days. Once again, thank you everyone for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!